So the objective, simply, is to get to Masters with less than 100 APM. What happens if I go over? Well, I'm allowed to go over if it's someone who's obviously, like, not diamond. But push-ups. Lehaha XD. Free sub. Well, we'll see. We'll see how much of an issue that is to start. Alright, so the maps I'm gonna veto. Those were Drone Rush maps. I was vetoing. I'm gonna veto Dreamcatcher, Parasite. Dreamcatcher is just a little bit of a different map. This is honestly mostly stylistic. As a random player, I like to, no, do a whole intro bit. But what if I bomb? What if, like, I lose the first 2 games and go over 100 APM and I'm in Platinum? Anyways, well, the goal is to get to Masters with under 100 APM in all of my games, as every race, as random, telling my race. And, well, we gotta make sure we have the right... Well, skins are important. We gotta have all the skins. Oh, my favorite skins right now. Wait, no. My classic SCV, classic drone. We gotta have the old school. I didn't have time to get the Cyril portrait, but, yeah, skins do mean more wins. The Alchemist. Looks like we're right in range. Diamond to start. I've thought... Like, maybe we work up from bronze, and at bronze, like, 20 APM, silver 30, like, gold 50, plat 75, and then... Okay. Now, it's not that I can't ever go over 100 actions per minute. It's an average of 100 actions per minute. Before you start looking at the APM counter, like, there's no way. I want to make that clear. I think 100 actions per minute is about the level required for, if you're using them all efficiently, to play the game up to Grandmaster, potentially. Like, I'm not that efficient. So I'm going to make some actions I don't need to make over and over. Oh, don't worry. I'm sorry. Selecting does increase APM. Is he going to block my base? Well, I'm just going to take a pull already. I'm not even going to... Yep. Oh, he did it with a depot. We're just going to get some roaches out eventually. That's going to be the plan for a lot of this. Roaches. The, I don't know. The brick. Well, the original brick. There are many varieties. There are many flavors, but... Setting my camera locations to all the bases to start. He's got it super early. But I should have made an overlord here. We're already off to a rough start. I don't think he's proxy raxing if you put a depot here. I don't think so. Selecting can't be APM? You mean selecting another thing so that way you can issue an action potentially isn't an action? How else would you be able to do that? APM, part of the reason we're doing this is because so many people focus on it, and I want to tell people what to focus on, and I want to show how little importance it is in the grand scheme of things. I mean, you do need a certain amount of actions in order to be successful, but not nearly as many as a lot of people think. Zerg is probably the hardest to maintain a lower... Okay, who put Elrac in the closet again? There's something messed up with this voice pack. Alright? I don't know. But Elrac sounds like he's been trapped in a broom closet for, like... And is angry about it. He's always angry about something. We all know that. But... Isn't this really just macro to masters? Well, that's not a boring clickbait title. That also part of it is the point. You like my minerals, guys? You ever seen me yell at people for having this many minerals early? Well, now it's your turn.
Your Zerg have blood in their claws.
Oh.
Spawn more of those bulbous overlords.
Where are you going, drone? What are you doing, Overlord? Looks like he's just gonna do what he was gonna do no matter what. Like, that's what it seems like here. I want an Overlord to finish.
Oh, and you
And Roach 1, Evolution Chamber. Can he see that? Hold position on the pervert pillar. Not anymore. I'm gonna get my lair. Another gas. We are at 36 drones. Could do better than that. Rally these OVs out. In order to have useful positions. So the goal is going to be to get 60 drones, then make a bunch of riches. Simple enough. I saw his starport was a little later, so I wasn't that worried about getting spore crawlers, but I will now.
Your hive cluster is besieged.
He's got a lot of Hellions. I think we'll make some roaches.
You require more Vespene gas. There's nothing. Pay attention. You need more Vespene.
Here he comes. Is he just gonna run by? Nope. Is the lair done? It is. Oh, he has a Banshee. Let's get an Overseer. I need some more gas.
Your Zerg.
I'm gonna get Roach speed. There's the detection. But what are we at? 53 drones? Let's get some more injects out. It is, like, I'm really trying to focus on important things. Like, you don't need to have perfect creep spread. Having a little bit so that at least connects your bases is the first priority. Getting overlords, of course, is important.
You have already gathered all that field.
We're gonna get a Hydra done in case he keeps making those Banshees. Looks like he did. +2 attack. Why don't I get +1 as well? Why not? Whole different story. Whole different story now. He's making some tanks. What do we got? 61. You know what? Let's go to 70 drones. Now I'm a little scared of what he's doing, so I'm sending out an Overseer. I think it's time to spend that money. Get a Carapace upgrade. And why not an Infestation Pit? I'm making Hydras now.
You need more Vespene.
Switches to the watchtowers. Here's a little trick. Is die. And then you don't have to actually play the game. Just do that real quick. And you'll be fine. He's got a lot of tanks. We're gonna go ahead and intercept this medevac drop. Oh, he's quick on the draw with that. Right around the corner there. Just making more roaches. He knows that base is there. But we're going to hive. It's okay, like, at this point, move my spore crawler kind of close to the base. He might do a two-prong attack. Looks like he will. Got the medevacs. Add these in.
Your Zerg have mutated some minor improvements. Your brood cannot grow without those.
And now, whatever you do against tanks, you never want to fight from one angle. So we're going to spread out here. And notice my upgrades. Well, a couple are about to finish. But we're going to send the queens in first, and then we're going to send in the rest, because the queens can transfuse one another. So,
Your Zerg have evolved.
and then, now that we have the queens, and then they'll eat the tank shots. And then we'll just carry that across.
Your Zerg have evolved. Pay attention. You need more Vespene. Zerg.
I'm actually going to use the Select All Army hotkey, control click my roaches, and 8-click. Make sure I have transfuse. I think I might have been a little high, to be honest. Might have been a little high. Like 108. Let's see. Nope, 96. Right on target. Diamond 3. Yeah. Like, I'm really trying, because it is about the edge of where I think, like, you can do almost everything you need to win games up to Masters. Like, almost 100% of the time. I'm barely really skipping things that I think would be really important to cover. Like, maybe I'm not injecting quite as quick as I usually would, but that's not the end of the world. Like, I'm not making a bunch of Zerglings just to make Zerglings for no reason, but that's, like, that's a good thing, so... But just getting more workers. I got the early scout as Zerg between 3 and 4 minutes. Sending the Overlord in. That's when, again, as Zerg against Protoss and Terran, you don't want to send your OV in against Zerg except in specific circumstances. But against Protoss and Terran between 3 and 4 minutes, if they've gone for an expansion, that's when you'll get information on their tech. Before then, they just don't, like, they don't have that much. After that, they could already be hitting you. Well, this is appropriate. We're facing Macro Master. I don't know. Let's see who truly is. We're still gonna do a standard opener. I messed up the location, but it should still be okay as long as I don't have issues on the other side. Now we're gonna scout. Setting up camera locations.
The enemy
That's a drone rush. Alright, so I'm going to use the advanced strategy of not caring. And having more probes, which is usually quite effective. He's trying to drill out by using the mineral walk mechanic, but it doesn't look like it's going to pan out. Or does it? I didn't want to have to micro, but now here we are.
Your enemy strikes at a pylon.
I don't think he's going to be able to macro this out very well. Chrono boost out more probes. Appropriately, the macro master, right? I have another pylon, so I can build more probes here. Right click, poke, A click, A click, A click, right click, A click. Are we able to stay under? That's what's important. What goodies did I get? But I've already unlocked it. So here's a fun fact, guys. If you actually, a few things here. First, you can switch between the servers like this. You have a different profile on Europe and Asia, the inferior servers. But if you bought something, if you bought a skin, if you've unlocked the war chest, it carries over. Wait, does the war chest rewards carry over? I forget. Maybe not that. But you have the war chest, and you have all the stuff you paid for there, for the most part. By the way, I forgot. I need to get the correct macro portrait now that we're coming up to BlizzCon 2018. This is the wrong portrait, as much as I like the Hydralisk. Oh, wait, why? No. Why aren't they unlocked yet, by the way? Just an aside. Of all the WCS 2018 portraits, the Dark Lord of the Zerg, Cyril. Real Winter.
Good.
Previously GM. I have been GM. I guess that is fair. GG. But Cyril. But it should already be unlocked. Blizzard. Thank you, Rambo Dacious. How do I drone rush to D1? He says he's hard stuck in Diamond 2 drone rushing. How do I drone rush D1? And I'm really, I really don't want to say get good, but I also really do. So I'm just going to ignore him. How you doing, Macro Master? Tell him to watch the guides, my drone rush guides. You know, honestly, one of the best tips for drone rushing. Whenever I drone rush, I never have a blood alcohol content that is under.
Now I have your attention.
That is under 0.1 or 0.01, 0.1, something like that. Like that's the minimum, and then you just work your way up from there, and so do your ladder points. That's for drone rushing, not in general. I'm just, you know, at some point, I will shave my head. 5,000 subs on Twitch. I mean, 10,000. Zerg is definitely, just naturally, if you're doing a lot of things, you have the highest APM. At the pro level, Terran and Zerg are both very high, with Protoss slightly behind. You might be like, because Protoss takes no skill. No, no, no. It's just the kind of actions that the players have to make, both micro and macro. For Protoss, it's spread out differently. Like, the basic macro mechanics take less actions, but they require more precision. Like, you have to have everything in the right spot, the right warpins at the right time. Oh, no, I can't, because that's more actions. Just imagine me drawing a heart with rally points. Yeah, that's how much we're gaming this system. Can I get a winter love in the YouTube comments? All right, like just imagine, all the lonely people. Okay. There we go. I'd put Twitch chat on the screen like other streamers, but I'll leave the children in the comments. Now my third OV is going to stay kind of close to the chest. Some pro players will only send out one Overlord, like their first OV, and that's it. Because these OVs will likely die. It's just how it is. So. Now I'm going to get Queens, one set of Zerglings, second set of Zerglings. We are going to end up, like, I am going to go Zergling speed. I'm not skipping it. But it's just, like, the Zergling speed is for scouting, to keep me alive. He could have sent out, yeah, he's sending out his Reaper now, but he could have sent it out before. I'm just going to keep the Zerglings at home until the Reaper gets them all hot and bothered. Clicking on the map and camera locations do not count as APM. Ooh, we got it. But look at how bad I am, guys. One Reaper and I got 700 minerals. I feel like I've had words on this topic before. Can't remember when. Don't worry. If you're watching this, hopefully you haven't watched any of my other videos. This is expected to die, by the way. That Overlord. I'm gonna build another Queen.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Like, it's unfortunate it does, but it's not the end of the world.
You require more overlords.
So now I'm gonna get the, it looks like he's just gonna go, like, he probably has more medevac. He's got a Whittle Mine there. What that means to me, really, is he doesn't know what he wants. Like, he doesn't have the barracks to go straight into bio, but, he also doesn't have a reactor factory, so I'm going to get a lair here. We're at 37 drones. At about 40 drones, I'm going to be adding on gases 2 and 3. I believe that is a single... Oh, it's a... I thought it was a Whittle. It's a Hellion. Shift 1. I'm not even paying. I don't even care what's happening there. Oh. I thought it was the Hellion. So this game, we're just going to do a timing. Oh, I didn't get the Hellion. Can I get it now? Sad. Oh, we're getting Overlords here. Gonna make sure I have creep to the front and to the side. We've got 50 drones. He's actually gonna find a lot of my OVs. One thing that is pretty important is larva inject. Control click on the creep comers there. Bring this guy up. Making a lot of roaches. Thank you, our Tiger, and Roland Bear, and Drain. Okay, this is why you don't send too many Obies out, is because they will die. If you're not careful. So, +1 and speed are about to finish. Obviously, important upgrades here. And I'm going to a move across the map and rally roaches behind. That's the plan.
Your Zerg have evolved.
Make a couple more overlords.
Your Zerg have bloodied their core. Your workers must. Your Zerg have mutated some minor.
And we pull back if there's more than one tank. There are 2 tanks. So a little bit of splitting. A little bit more here. We're pulling back. I told you I should have pulled back. I didn't. That's a mistake. So we gotta go back, macro it out. But I killed a lot of Marines, which slows down most pushes. Gonna get a Hydralisk done. So the way tanks work is they fire on the closest target. And it really depends. Do we stop with this, guys? The long train, like, that Viking has 4 kills. A Viking should never have more than 2 kills, really. 2 kills is a reasonable number. And that really depends on how diligent you've been scouting. Let's look at his upgrades. He noticed. He wasn't one of us. How many drones? Not enough. We're gonna make 15 more. 16. Because I still feel like I have the army. This could be leading his army here. We'll see in a second. Other important info. I know, like, it's hard for me to concentrate because I don't usually play like this. But you might be like, oh my god, he's gonna attack. But that's okay. I'm gonna make some Hydras here. I have enough time on him sieging and unsieging his tanks. Like, he'll siege him back up. He's on the creep. We pull back. I wanted to get those drones out, so I actually have the economy. We're gonna get the changeling up. We're just waiting for the +2 attack. He's probably moving his tanks up now, and now we go. Over to the side. A little bit of targeting on the tanks. Shift A quick.
Mutation complete.
I want to fight, so I can tech up. I pushed a lot of his strong units off the map. I did lose some creep spread, so I want to fix that. Get a few drones over to this base. This will be a good time to get spines and spores because I have 4 bases to protect. And Roach Hydra just isn't that great at moving around the map. So that's its big weakness. I'm making Hydras now. I'm gonna take down these rocks. Anything that makes it harder for me to get around is a threat. My map vision is pretty bad. I'm going to split off a roach to each of the watchtowers. We look at his upgrades. He has 1/1. I have +2 attack, and we're getting +1 armor. He doesn't have a 3rd. That's all that matters to me here. He really killed that Overlord. That Overlord is very dead now. Got him. So, getting 2 Vipers.
Good. Now I have your attention.
And I've got 1,800 minerals.
Your Zerg have mutated some minor improvements.
He's gonna see that, and honestly, that should probably trigger an attack out of him here. He'll probably try to attack my 4th base,
There are no minerals
because
to mine from that field.
I don't wanna say all, but many players are like, well, I failed at attacking this base, so I can't attack that area again. It's too well defended. At this level, like it's
Mineral field depleted.
pretty common.
Your army is
We're
already
maxed out.
supply.
We're gonna make sure we have the gas. Gonna put all the rally points in. +2. There we go. Make sure I move the Vipers. We're gonna move the army into a nice spot. He doesn't see the Vipers. So we attack, bring the Vipers in. Gonna throw blinding clouds on everything. See if we can go forward. If he does not have a 3rd, then he's pulling the boys here. That's never a great sign. Okay. We will make 33 more Hydras. Yes, I was holding off to see if we needed them. We do. The boys.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Sieging up the tank, but that's a lot of Hydras. There you go. That was close, like a little bit extra micro. Is Zerg, it is a little bit tough. Ah, fuck. I know. It's a little high. Like, that's right around that level. Yep, we'll give up. I'm giving out a free sub on Twitch every time I'll go over. Delete the Vaughn. Never again. Failed. 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 As punishment. In order to enter, just type !slow down on Twitch. If you're watching this on YouTube, then make fun of me in the comments. If this ends up on YouTube. And I'll give that away after the next game, because I did not set up a system for that. So. Slow down. Slow down. So there, Like, he was very focused on the biggest thing. I haven't made a guide or a series like this, and now I'm breaking the whole fourth wall thing. But since I've really started doing a lot more angry coaching, and you guys have been showing me a lot of your replays personally, as opposed to my experience facing Diamond players, and I just the sheer fear from especially Terrans, but also Protoss and least most, but still Zerg, of taking a third base. That is an epidemic. Alright, like, third bases are scary. Like, at least you have ramps for your first two, usually. Like, but sometimes you just gotta, like, you can't be too scared, because if you just get bottled up, a player who does just sit back and bake a bunch of workers and units, like, they don't have to do crazy micro, they're just gonna have too many rotations. We're gonna scout. Let's hope we don't get drone rushed again, but we will see. Thank you, Ron Vaza and Snow Python, for those subs. Being fancy with how I put probes into gas, not really a huge deal. Roll walk, hop off. I'm gonna set up a patrol on the base, get a nexus. Why is the third so much scarier than the fourth? Because the third is like jumping into the cold water. The fourth is swimming around. Like, you're already in the water. Alright, you've already taken the plunge. Now, there's also the second strategy, which is like, I will take a third, but I'll never take it at my third. Which is kind of like a mental gymnastics way of saying, like, well, at least I did take a third. I just put it in the corner of the map. Like,
I would warp in more pylons if I were you.
Alarak, please. Oh yeah, I was gonna switch him as well because he needs to come out of the closet. The literal closet. Like, I can't hear you.
Wow,
You
it's
Uber
like
pilot.
1/4 of 100. WNTRBX25.
I'll send the adept across. Stop that. Oh, you got it. You can go home. We're gonna open up with a robo. Now, honestly, I screwed up the build. I would have gone Stargate. I think it's fine. Stargate's still very good. It's actually probably a better choice a lot of the time. But I didn't get my gas quick enough, so I went for the robo. So now what I'm doing is I'm gonna scout for any all-ins. I'm not trying to do damage here. I'm just trying to scout.
Let your will be heard. Combat await. Yes, exactly.
I mean, if we can kill drones, super nice. And we can. I'm gonna shift click. If you can kill more than 3 drones, it's probably worth it.
Where shall we march?
Honestly, just... yeah, that was a lot of damage. Gonna get a Twilight Council here. I'm getting an Observer. 2 gases. This is not a go-to build, by the way. Like, I don't like this build. But we see he's building drones. He's not building aggressive units. He doesn't have a Roach Horn. As I say it, right? Like, warp gate's done. Gonna get a shield battery. If this probe wasn't here, this would be a lot easier. That's That's a lot of Zerglings, isn't it? Oh, we got through there. That's gonna work.
Workers must gather more minerals.
Well, is it though?
You have left your probes undefended. The enemies
We're gonna warp in. I need a few more minerals here.
Glory to the Daemon.
Now we fight with the probes, the shield battery helping a little bit. We're gonna cancel this to get the minerals. Okay. He's gonna get the main. But if as long as he doesn't get both, right? Like,
Glory to the Daemon. The firstborn shall persevere.
he might be like, that doesn't seem like a great idea. Probably not, but
your nexus point is under
Glory to the Daemon.
he got the cyber core, so that's important to remember.
The firstborn shall persevere.
That was pretty scary. A little bit of stutter step over here. Gotta remake that Nexus.
We serve.
Send this out. Retake my main. He got the Twilight, which is unfortunate. Let's get to mining.
Where shall you give us your combat?
Did you think you could warp better?
We can get a war prism there. So from here, you kind of got to try to figure out
Yes, yes, yes.
how much he's committing.
Just as I deserve.
Thank you, G-Grim.
So many mistakes in this one and my self-esteem is too high. Help shatter it.
I think we can throw that in. Let's see what he has. He's made a lot of drones here. Oh, I didn't remake the Twilight. That's unfortunate. That means I have to attack now?
Glory to the Daemon.
I forgot to remake the Twilight. That was a mistake. We're gonna combine the Warp Prism. He has a lot of links, but he's making drones, and he doesn't see this coming. So we're gonna warp in a couple more sentries, some adepts. Remember, we still have the recall tool.
The firstborn shall persevere.
In order to potentially get out of this situation. We're going to chrono boost out gateways because having more units is better. Gonna walk up. Now we kind of just work with what we got here, right? Like, I'm gonna go to the main. That's probably where his tech is, and I can force field it as well. We can reduce surface area.
I have met the enemy.
Get a forge. Oh, Hydras. He got too greedy. He tried to tech up. Because he committed a lot to the Zerglings. So, there we go. And that's the natural reaction. I gotta build a lot of drones, right? Yeah, he might have gotten a little greedy, as you can see. So, because this is a diamond game, I will take a look at it. We're gonna kind of speed through because we're doing a whole thing here, but it is a Zerg versus Terran in the Diamond League. We're gonna take a look from G Grim. Oh yeah, we're giving away a sub as well, because I went over in the previous game. Serious businessman, congratulations. Serious businessman. Congratulations to serious businessman. Following since July of this year. Okay, I'm just assuming you don't screw anything up before this point while I'm doing this. Alright, let's hope you didn't. You say, so many mistakes and my self-esteem is too high. What does that mean? You, like, say he's no skill, trash, or whatever? Like, I don't know if you forgot, like, maybe I should look for proxies, or if, or if you just were planning on that in the first place, but you got some fancy Overlord pathings. Your speed is slow, ironically enough. By the way, that doesn't hide the ogre. I commend you. You didn't panic when the Reaper came in. You didn't, like, sit there trying to micro against the Reaper all day. Which is good. You haven't yet confirmed he's expanded. You actually didn't check, but I guess we can assume. That's fine. So, a lot of drones, a Baneling nest, a lair, but I don't mind it so far. I don't mind it. It seems like you have an idea of where you want to go. Now here's the problem. Here's what I assume is going to happen. Is you're going to get double Evo chamber. You could have already been doing double upgrades right now. Unless you really want to go Spire. If you go Spire, then I question your sanity. But do you just get double Evo chamber? Like, oh yeah, I want to spend this gas. There it is. It's not necessarily the end of the world, that timing. Also, Spore Crawler should be in your bases 4 to 4.5 minutes. Against Terran, you can be a little bit later, not too much later. Also, by the way, if you see this many Hellions and a Banshee, it's probably Mech. Is it Mech? It's Mech. But let's take a look at the state of the game right now, because I think this is where things go sideways for you. This is what happens to a lot of Zerg players. It's like, he attacked me with Hellions. I could never recover. It's like, but wait. Okay, you're down to 33 drones. Not great. But neither of you are in a position to kill one another right now. You're going to have 4 bases. You're going to have plenty of larvae. Don't worry, you're banking up 1,400 minerals. So good shit there. But what you're going to do is make too many Lings, Banes, and Hydras and squander the opportunity to actually get a better economy. And that's the situation. Like, and part of the reason he's not threatening you is because he's just as bad at spending his money. But now is the time, upgrades and drones. Because if he just spent all those units, you made 12 more Lings. Those Lings you made after all the Hellions were dead. You already have 23 Lings and 4 Banelings, and vision of what he's coming out with. You just made 6 drones of Lings for no reason. And now the upgrades. Late, but not forgotten. You're doing the right thing. A few little paniclings in there. I don't know why he was able to do so much damage in the first place, but... 18 more lings. I once again ask you the question. Why? What are you making lings for? Are you gonna attack? Have you not yet figured out this is Mech? Like, you don't have enough drones. 43 drones is not enough. You're making 20 lings. Like, lings do not counter Hellions. Let me repeat. Lings do not counter Hellions. I don't know if you know this. Lings, they don't counter Hellions. Not even Rainer. Like, if you watched Rainer against Gumiho. Lings don't counter Hellions. And why are you making Banes?
Mineral field depleted.
Like, Banelings are not a unit you want sitting around. What is the purpose of these Banelings? Why are you building these Banelings? Are you going to go on defense or offense? If you're going to sit here and be like, well, I eventually want more Banelings, you delayed another upgrade? You delayed more tech, more Hydras? Like, you want to build Banelings as late as possible. You want to have them for important times. But you don't want to just build Banelings, because every Baneling you build slows you down. Scared of a big Hellbat / siege timing? So you're scared of a timing because so you're preparing for a timing that doesn't really exist because you're not gonna scout. Like, you can see his tanks in his base. It's okay now, but he wasn't moving out. You had to, like, these upgrades are so important, especially against Mech. Like, you know it's Mech. Hydraling Bane is not good against Mech. We're going Hydraling Bane anyways. Okay. It's not useless. It can work. Especially against heavy Hellbat. You crush the Hellbats. But not on well, you got up to 72 drones. I'll give you that. But you're on ignore his upgrades. He's matched with you. We're not using him as a standard for fucking anything. Okay? You could easily have 2-2 coming up by now if you managed it better. Plenty more drones. Hive tech already done. Viper's on the field, but... No. Not the bloodlust. So, this is a very common... It's common with all the races, to be honest. This is another... When I say a Diamond League mistake... I'm not saying it's specific to Diamond League unless I exclusively say that. There are some things that are specific only to Diamond League. But this is a Diamond League mistake in the sense that it's still a big problem in Diamond and way worse as you go down. So I'm including everyone here. It's like, well, we're fighting, so we have to keep fighting because I've already lost so many units. Sunk cost fallacy here, right? Like, maybe... Well, he already killed 30 Zerglings, so if I send another 50 Zerglings at him, it has to do something, right? Like, it does it? Does it, though? It's like, alright, the Banelings come in, did a good job. Yeah, those extra 50 Zerglings are, like 30 more Zerglings. You pull back the Hydras, but the Zerglings, I mean... Not that Zerglings are particularly expensive, but... I still don't know why you're still making Zerglings. Like, this is a big question to me. And, of course, who doesn't love the Selecto Army Hockey? Right. Because the Selecto Army Hockey always leaves you with a good preparation for splitting units up to defend and attack simultaneously, especially against things like Hellion run-bys. As you can see, the control groups here are littered with counterattack and defensive, offensive units, and spellcasters, all that. Attacking directly into siege tanks from one angle is always successful. At least you hotkeyed your Vipers. Now here's the problem with hotkeying your Vipers, is you're gonna use the select all army hotkey again, and the Vipers are gonna be in the front of everything. But your opponent might not have built any anti-air. Which, who knows, right? Like, maybe. So, just to recount. 1, useless lings. 2, forgot your upgrades. 3, didn't really react to what information you had. You were overthinking. Again, like, if you take damage to... Here's a general rule. If you kill his harass units, you have time. So, you do not need... Unless you're immediately counterattacking, there is no reason to make Lings and Banes for at least another minute. Like, if you kill 6, 8 Hellions and a Banshee, you are free to make drones for about a minute. I mean, like, if you have no units and he sends 2 more Hellions, of course, but, like, you don't need more Zerglings. You don't need to build Banelings. You are killing your opportunities later on because you're panicking now. And there goes the army. The thing is, if those blinding clouds had been slightly better, you might have just killed everything. Unfortunately, everybody knows the only way you're allowed to attack is directly into a choke point full of siege tanks. And here is, once again, the difference between a gold, a platinum, and a diamond. Or a platinum, a diamond, and a masters. We're just going to do a hypothetical scenario, but I've seen it repeated so many times. And remember, I say things like an authority. And before I said them from my own experience. But now I say them from the experience of watching so many platinum and diamond Zergs against Mech. It's especially Zergs. And especially against Mech. Like, 50% of, not 50, like 40% of all the replays sent in are Zerg players against Mech. I don't know if that's statistically accurate, but it fucking feels like it. Alright? You gotta do a thought experiment. Here's what a platinum player does. A platinum player goes in, loses all their army, and then is like, oh, I need to tech up. Like, for example, attacks in, does okay, dies to siege tanks. Oh, Vipers are good. And then they go Vipers. But they've already lost all their units. They could have gone Vipers before, but until their army dies, they forget that they exist. They don't pull out the Prima Strategy Guide and look up the Vipers. They don't go to the Help tab and look up the Vipers. In fact, they don't know the Help tab exists, because I didn't until a year ago. But the Diamond player, a lot of the time, is like, oh, these are the units I need to build. These are the units I need to tech up to. And they get them. But they're not all the way there. And then they throw away their army right before they get the right units. You didn't quite do that, but like, right now, you just lost your whole army. I'm assuming now you transition to Broodlords, right? Right after you lost all map control, any ability to keep him from moving out and pressuring you, now it's time to go Broodlords. Because you remembered, oh yeah, there are other units I can build against siege tanks, or swarm hosts, but maybe we'll get there. And the Masters player, here's what they can do. Here's what they can do. They can think like, maybe, what would happen if I didn't lose my whole army? But hypothetically I did, but I don't lose my whole army. I don't throw away 90 supply of units. What then? And they actually get to Broodlords beforehand. And then TY is 19 steps ahead. He's already, like, uploaded himself into the Matrix and is just, we're living in his simulation. That's how far ahead he is. But, let's see. Are we going to remember Broodlords exist now, or are we just going to make Hydraling Bane? Oh, there you go. There's the Spire. Oh yeah, remember Broodlords? I only had to credit to you. You only lost your army once before. So, like, not as bad as usual. I have not seen this replay before, but I've seen dozens like it. And now here's what's gonna happen. what's gonna happen is you're gonna get the spire's gonna finish. You're not gonna find an angle. You're not maxed out. You're gonna max out by the time the greater spire is built.
Good.
That's what's gonna happen.
Now I have your attention.
But
Love
you're
the
gonna
streams
throw
and
away your
the
army
music.
before Broodlords,
Keep it up.
and there will be a wide open opportunity for him to just win the game because you threw away your army. Because it's timed out right around there. You should be able to remax right as a greater spire is started. So let's see. Or you just forget the spire altogether. We'll find out. Okay. This is the part where you throw away your army before Broodlords. Now, the real choice here is to make Corruptors, so that way you can make Broodlords. And not have no army on the ground. But, wait for it. Wait for it. It's too hard to control Broodlords and Hydras. Everybody knows that. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I think he's actually so turtled up you can't. I think you actually can't. Which is beautiful. Oh my god. Oh, what you do anyways? They can't help it. They can't help it, guys. I like... Everybody thinks they're special, but they're all very special in the same way. Jesus Christ. They just can't help it. They're all the same. Oh, so now you lost your entire army. Now's just freeing up supply for Broodlords with that huge bank you had, right? Yeah, freeing up supply.
Mineral field depleted.
Like, you gotta get rid of that money. Wings are good against mech. With Banes, you can contain them and just get more bases and then go Broods. Okay, I thought, guys, I brought the Bugatti. And not the Escalade. Because I didn't know there was that much room in the back seat. But I was mistaken. I mean, Broodlords are still the right choice, and it's a Turtle Terran. He's never going to attack again, right?
Mutation.
Just simply make a bunch of Zerglings, and then they can never attack you. It's foolproof. Pro tip. It worked out perfectly this game. As you can see. And anyways, now we're here at this point. Like, surprise! Feeling like it would have been nice to have like 30 more Hydras now, doesn't it? Oh look, 20 more Hydras. What? What is that jump? Obviously has shin splints. Doesn't this game end in 1 minute? How does this game end in 1 minute? I'm very intrigued. Like, I knew when the game ended, which I cheated a little bit, guys. I knew when the game ended, so that gives me a bit of insight into what could and is likely to happen. But still, like, I'm not entirely sure how the game ends in 1 minute. Zerg has to lose, right? The fuck? What if he just made, like, Hellions? Are you not allowed? Like, I teched up to BCs and I was denied the Siege Tank Hellion tech. So, pretty much your opponent is a diamond version of you, which is also you. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot I could build units that would win the game if he built other units. So that's usually how it goes. It's like, when I chose the battlecruiser path, I was denied the ground mech path. Like, as you know, despite the fact I have multiple planetary fortresses, and I had money in the bank until I decided to invest in mass battlecruiser. Choose carefully. Battle cruisers or ground units. Yeah, I saw the opponent was in the chat. So you guys were, well, I would like to say this game is proof that Blizzard matchmaking is working quite well. That took longer than I thought. I apologize, guys. We're getting back to the whatever we were doing. Oh yeah, let me say, because we're doing the less than 100 APM to Masters. Let me just go ahead and let's see what their APMs were for that match. Call them out a little bit. The Zerg had 183, and the Terran had 130, which was impressive for the about 12 actions per minute they were having. They were doing, rather. No, the Zerg did more, just poorly. Thank you, Tripwire Dizzy. Is it weird that I'm in gold and have never faced Broodlords? Well, you would have to stop proxy rexing people for that to happen. That was a bit of a weak one. Oh, a random player. One of those just... You think he's lying? It would be hypocritical. It would be hypocritical for me not to believe him. So... Oh, you're masters at random, but you don't play enough to go get masters. So you're high diamond, low masters? Is that what you're saying? Ah, high diamond, low masters. Which is the kind of like, fucking Taylor Swift liked my post on Twitter of ranks. It's like, doesn't really mean anything, and it just looks worse when you brag about it, but cool. Though if Taylor Swift liked one of my posts on Twitter, I would probably brag about it. So like, I'm just saying.
You require more Vespene gas. In the rear with the gear. I'm going. What's going on?
Oh shit.
Your command center has been upgraded.
Fucking cheesy ass randoms.
Will do. It is impossible to.
Oh my god. We have to micro. That is the only way. If this Reaper dies, I lose the game. That's never finishing, by the way. Can Ravagers still get down there? Oh, fuck. I'm gonna lose that. I need to get a Cyclone out. Like, this is one of those games you just have to do certain things, and that's just how it is. Like,
command center is under attack.
What's going on? Bad news? Gateway, coming on.
Not enough energy.
Armed and ready. Pilot, you got coordinates or what? Moving into position. Cyclone receiving. Go ahead. Big job.
I'll need another clone.
Mind. Channel clear. SCV ready. Yo. Online. Let's go kill something. Roger. This ought to be good. SCV ready. Want a piece of me, boy?
Oh my god.
What? Bad news? I'm listening.
What are you doing, boys? Why are you
So, what's going
hot feed
on?
there?
Man, the channel's clear. This ought to be good. Got a target in mind. I get ya. You got coordinates or what? Moving into position. Cyclone receiving. Go ahead. SCV ready.
Do you have enough OVs?
Adjusting. Comms open.
Like, this game is just...
Engage.
I fucked up the defense too. Was part of the problem.
Let's go. Gateway. Coming. Nothing will stop me. Cyclone en route. Cyclone receiving. You got coordinates or what? SCV ready.
That is a hard build to beat if you don't scout with SC. Like, I didn't scout with an SCV super early, so... Yeah. You're like, what? Why would he tap out there? This is why. That's the worker count. And remember, I have mules. Well, I did a lot of actions during very important parts, like repairing cyclones and all that, but I did go over 100. It did force me over 100. So, I will honor the deal, despite the extenuating circumstances, exclamation point slow down, for a chance to win a free sub every time I go over 100. We'll do that after the next game because people don't realize it before. Thank you, Tripwire Dizzy. Austin 37 AF. Thank you, the blue one, for the host. But the way to hold that is get a bunker up, get a cyclone, and keep the overlords away. Because you can push the OVs away and not fuck up microing too much. My first overlord is just gonna go check what he's up to. My second OV is gonna chill here in case of cannon rush, pretty much. That's why. Also, who says sweet anymore? I'm already suspicious. What year is it? 2009? This Obi will go to this position because now I'm going to send the first Obi into the main. Queen, 2 wings, 4 wings. Crazy. Pull off gas, speed. Click them on the probe. Send it down for a bit. He's not even building, so probably a Stargate. Or he's just staring at his probe, is another option. It's like, oh shit! I need to watch my probe. If you guys remind me in time, I might go back and be like, look at him stare at his probe and not do anything because he thought that was important. And now questions why Zerg is so imba. Another Ovi. We're gonna keep these Ovis close. Like, he should have some tech. There it is. Stargate. So we're gonna send this Overlord back. We're gonna put the OV to the edge because you can actually see what a Stargate is building.
Your Zerg have evolved for whatever good that will do them.
That's an Oracle. You can see it building. And let's see. 4 gates. Gonna make sure to get all these drones. And now we're building a lot of buildings. 4. Evolution chamber. Lair. I can hold off the roach farm for a little while. We're actually going to send the Overlord back in because who knows what he has behind this.
Your Zerg have bloodied their claws.
It's a robo. Well, I mean, I kind of. So, I see 2 adepts. Do I build 40 Zerglings because he has 2 adepts? Oh my god. Or do I not? I don't. Spoilers.
The enemy is crushing your drones. Pay attention.
And so what we're going to do, we got 52-ish drones, but we will in a moment. And then we're going to make a bunch of roaches with speed.
Your Zerg
I know it sounds crazy.
There's not enough Vespene for that.
I'll make sure we're mining the gas, getting the injects. Pay attention. You pay attention, Alarak. I said I was going to switch Alarak out, but I didn't.
You require more.
He needs to stop criticizing me from like inside the tent. I don't know exactly what he's doing. There's a chance he's making like a bunch of void rays. Right? Like, that could be happening. It's not that unlikely. We're gonna get the gases here. What's the drone count? You know what? Play it safe. Get a Hydra done. gonna get a 4th base. Now, I'm in the dark, but I don't feel so bad about it because I got a lot of scouting early. Like, I saw the Stargate. I saw that he had a, alright, well, we're just gonna kind of go attack him, is what we're gonna do now. I've got my speed, I've got my +1.
Pay attention. You need more SP.
He does have 3 immortals, so we're gonna have to target them down individually. And he is a micro god. That is important to factor in.
16 months of being less
And
trash.
I am not.
Deep.
Did you see that pathing? Not great. So now we have to make hydras. Because hydras are like the roaches of things that aren't roaches. Roach Hydra is the unenthusiastic hand job of Zerg unit composition. Like, it gets the job done. It's not flashy, it's not exciting, but, I mean, it's there. And a lot of the time, as long as they don't have overwhelming splash damage, it's better than doing some sort of silly Wingbane micro or anything like that. So he's made a critical mistake. Now, if he actually moves out, he's made a critical mistake. Oh, I think he has a Warp Prism going towards the main. Oh, Archons. I thought he forgot Archons. He did not forget Archons. Which is smart. We're going to try to get under that Warp Prism. So that way we can kill the Archons too.
You have too few minerals.
But I will not just hit the select. He does not have any Archons here. A critical mistake. Archons are really good. Did I mention Archons are good? He does not have any Archons, therefore he loses all his things.
Perhaps mineral field depleted.
You know, I think the Prism could actually slip out, like, over here. I do have a Lurker Den on the way, so there's no reason to fully commit to a fight unless I'm gonna win for sure. Okay.
You have already gathered all that feed. Your Hydra carries the siege.
He gets this base, but I get all of his bases. Yep, it was definitely Zerg and Hydras that did it. They just win. Straight up. Straight up. There was nothing he could have done. I think I was a bit over. Ah! Gotta slow down! I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm too antsy. Like, it's reflex. Like, I just do a bunch of things that don't need to be done. It's not that important to do. Slow down. No. See if he watched his probe? I mean, that's the kind of mindset that's not going to get you anywhere. Like, you're looking at an end result. A lot of people will look at the end result and be like, well, based on this end result, I can conclude the entire process to get to that end result is flawed. But instead, he's looking at the end result and saying, like, well, exactly that. Instead of, like, what led us to this point? Why is it that Hydras are so strong in this scenario? Is it because Hydras are so strong in this scenario? Or is it because I spent too much time paying attention to things I shouldn't, and I didn't put together a coherent unit composition in a timely enough manner, despite having plenty of time and plenty of space, especially after my opponent attacked. Is that it? No. Hydras. Hydras are getting nerfed because of how much they affect the Diamond Lake. That is why. That's 100% it. Alright, so we're just gonna watch the basics here, which is like, did he stare at his probe instead of building tech or units? Like, this is what I was commenting on. Because, like, he's building a Nexus, but he has 150 minerals. Like, that Nexus could have been built earlier. It could have been built 10 seconds earlier, probably. Building a cyber core. It was on the late side. I told him I was Zerg before he put down his first pylon as well. He didn't have to put it down. But we're gonna go in. The cyber core about to finish. But. Alright, look. A probe. The cyber core is done right now. Cyber core done right now. What are we doing? I mean, he tried to go back home and do something, but his probe was under attack. That was a bigger problem. Okay. That was, like, he almost got to the point of doing something and ignoring his probe, but... probe, under attack. I had to pay attention. Look, I'm gonna stay on the same path, but this way I'm gonna do it more. So now, he has spent a solid... what is that? I'm gonna give you an exact number. What's the exact number? What's the exact amount of time that he could have been building Warp Gate that he didn't, or any other Cyber Core tech? His Cyber Core finishes at exactly 2 minutes and 18 seconds. And he starts anything with his Cyber Core at 2 minutes and 32 seconds. That's 14 seconds. That's more than the build time of a probe. That is... I don't know how long it takes to build a Stargate. How long does it take to build a Stargate? 43 seconds. That's 1/3 of a Stargate, almost. Yeah. It's 1/3 of a Stargate. Like, little things add up. And that's the difference between Diamond and Masters most of the time. Like, he had the right idea, but the execution was poor. But because he thinks that Hydras... So for this kind of player, he didn't... This is unsolicited, but now we're terrorizing the Diamond League. I do like that criticism, like, Winter, don't you think these Diamond Leaguers are going to quit playing when they play someone so obviously better? And just, like, really, you're killing the game. It's like, well, weak spirit. But I would recommend he play Zerg for a week. See how it feels. See how Hydras feel up against Storm. Okay. Tell me then, my friend. My friend Zerker Man. How Hydras feel. Okay. I do always love the argument, like, the reason people don't play Starcraft anymore is because they need to fix the swarm host. It's like, oh, my sweet summer child. Are you going to do the earlier giveaway? You got a good point. Thank you for reminding me. Radimus AU. Following since May of 2016. Thank you for that.
Good. Now I have your
So 3
attention.
out of 6 or 7 matches. How you doing? I've seen I'm Maru, damn you, and is that really what that says? Have been over 100 APM.
Good luck. You
And
need more minerals. In my
those
opinion,
matches
you
have
might
all
need
been
minerals at a time.
within several APM of 100. Okay, you don't have critical thinking skills, so we're fine. In every single one of my matches, I have been significantly under the APM of my opponents. Some of whom are ranked higher That is the point. This is, oh yeah, this is the guy who is high diamond, low masters, by the way. And also doesn't recognize. Yeah, well, the critical thinking skills are obviously not there.
Nope, no building there.
Don't blame him for that.
SCV ready.
Your SCVs are under attack. Pull your boys.
Bad news. SCV
A little bit of fancy. Oh my god, he got it.
going.
I didn't want to use too much APM, and now I'm down in SCV.
SCV
I
ready.
give up. I'm never playing StarCraft again. RNG's, I swear, my SCVs always are like, no, no, no. If you would like to attack me from any of 17 different angles, that's fine. But whenever I try to attack SCVs, they fucking teleport into the middle of the building.
Yep.
Okay, tell me that's not what happened. They just tell, it's like, oh, you wanted to attack this. Well, why don't you grow like a 4-range longer fusion cutter so you can actually do
You
it?
have not enough minerals.
Money.
CC's upgraded.
Big job, huh? We hear ya. The Grim Reaper has arrived. SCV ready.
Not enough minerals.
Are SCV build angles just RNG? I mean, yes. You can pull them off and put them back on very quickly, and that will... There's a chance it will change where it's building from, and then there's a chance it'll stay in the same place or go to a worse one. There's no way to control that. There's only a way to control where you start building from, but that doesn't necessarily decide where it ends up in the near future.
Your add-on's done.
SCV ready. SCV ready. In the rear with the gear.
Wait, that covers the whole jump area of the Reapers, right? On that side? Yes.
Got something.
I knew that was fine.
CC's upgraded.
SCV ready.
You require mine more minerals.
You can't buy stuff on credit in this game.
The idea was not that he couldn't jump, it was that he was forced into a certain location. There's a difference. Don't give me that nitpicking.
SCV ready.
We're gonna go in the back angle.
Move it. SCV ready. Nothing I can't handle. Ready.
So what's coming out of that is the question. That's something I would love to know.
Online. Let's go.
Get revenge for my previous SCV.
You need more supply depots.
SCV ready.
Can't build there.
Huh? Got something for me. Go ahead.
Hey, your space construction vehicles are under attack.
Oh, is that what that stands for?
Nothing'll stop me. This ought to be good. Optics online.
So this is actually like worst case scenario. It looks like I'm not even gonna kill them. Okay.
Not enough SBN gas.
Price control. Only 5 gas per barrel.
So the nice part of this is that now I can just attack him with a bunch of cyclones because
You can't build there.
he lost all his units
Show me.
and doesn't really have anything.
SCV ready.
And if he like does any more harass,
require more.
You got a target in mind.
Not enough energy.
Show me who you want to take.
We can get another factory.
Channel's clear, boss. Cyclone receiving. FCV ready.
Like, Hellion drop means you have no units early, is what it boils down to.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
It's just not great for,
Coordinates of what?
this scenario in general. I don't think Hellion drop is really a safe build, almost ever, because in TVT, like, because Terran units are pretty good, is the big concern.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
CC's upgrading.
Coordinates of what? SCV ready. SCV ready.
We've killed several SCs.
Whoa. Need more energy, little guy.
In the rear with the gear. SCV ready. Optics online. Let's go, kill.
Your upgrade's done.
At this point, well, you just get the factories. I actually just got +1. I can just right click to repair. Let's see what kind of production. Oh, maybe he was a little focused on micro and not macro. Would you say? Well, then I don't feel so bad about getting another one. Be like, no, he was obviously powering up for later in the game. No. He was microing his Hellion drop and banked up 1,700 minerals. That's what happened.
Bad news. Roger.
Additional supply depots required.
That's not for an attack, is it? Because sometimes you can kind of tell.
We mined 8 minerals at a time.
Ready to blunder.
Need more energy. Mineral field.
Get a second armory. Like, he keeps scanning like something's gonna happen here. Why is that there? Why are you there, SCB? What is your story?
Not enough energy.
Go ahead.
They're attacking your SCVs.
SCV ready.
Mine more minerals.
But the key is
Buy
air
stuff on
control.
credit in this game.
He has no upgrades. So, I'm getting upgrades. I'm going for air control.
What's going on?
That mineral field.
getting tanks.
Don't spend it all in one place.
These are all winning things. So, I might not be able to just kill him now. I'll send out a slight little Hellion thing.
You ready for war?
I like putting my Vikings on a different hotkey. But we're building up to the point where I can reliably do so. What a time.
In the rear with the gear.
Still 0-0. And that's the big thing we're really going on about. Is going to be the upgrades. Like, now he's got enough units that I can't really attack.
Your upgrade's done.
It's too, like, without everything together. Because I've invested in upgrades, and siege tanks are not a unit that, like, attacks on its own.
Not enough minerals.
So now we are kind of... I don't know if stuck is the right word. Is that off center? But we're in a scenario where I just eventually have a way better army.
Comms open.
building on the right side of your big building's done.
SCV ready. In the rear with bad news.
Nice and slow. Gonna drop some supply because I forgot to. We have 78 SCVs, which is plenty, by the way.
Yes, sir.
Now I've kind of got to decide which way I want to attack, or if I ever want to attack. But like, I do. I want to find that timing. We want to see where his army is. There's enough of his army committed there. 0-0 upgrades.
Made for battle. SCV ready. Go ahead.
For action.
Ready to raise some
Scan.
You need more supply depots.
My army is much better.
Got freedom.
Additional supply depots required.
You scared me.
All hands to battle station.
No handouts.
Make more depots.
We should get some ship weapons after this and get more Vikings, just to be sure.
Upgrade.
SCV ready. Go ahead. What's that?
I'm attacking from the other angle as well. Scan up there.
Made for battle.
Why did I do that? Great question.
Reporting for action.
No handouts.
Throw some
Make more
Thors in
depots.
here.
Your add-on's done.
Incoming orders.
Go ahead.
We're running out of bigger, faster, stronger, upgraded.
Ready to plunder.
Landing sequence interrupted.
Ready to. It's heating up out here.
Get him, Thor. Get him, Thor.
Yeah.
We can get the smart servos. More Vikings.
Some hell. I hear you. Good. Talk to me. Now I have your attention.
Still enjoying blood training.
Ready to raise some hell. Got some. I am here. Lead me. Ready for hot action. Got any extra firepower?
Maybe I can just go right up the gut with this here. Oh, look at that.
Ready to raise some hell.
Your upgrade's done.
That mineral field's gone. Don't spend it all in one place.
It's heating up out here.
Upgrades?
I'm in a heap of trouble.
Vespian Geyser exhausted.
Ready to plunder.
Scan ahead. It was a little dicey. But remember, high diamond, low master, so he's pretty low level, as we say. Over 100, are you sure? Making it happen. Yeah, you definitely see the spikes. The in-game counter isn't perfectly accurate. It holds on the higher numbers for a time, even if it's not your average. Like, the in-game counter is just the instantaneous, not average. But while the armies were about even, and even, well, what were the workers? The workers were actually kind of close because of the Hellion drop did way more than it ever should have, because I really fucked up, but... Upgrades. Here are the upgrade spending. I think he had +1 at the end. The in-game counter makes it look higher. Is that a real complaint? Asking, yeah, we still had one more free one. My APM is too large. I have this problem so much. Exclamation point slow down. For a chance, add a free sum. And now here's a question, because I'll be right back. Just one moment. Wait. Oh, shit. We have so many people here. Real quick. Just a real quick ad. If you guys could turn off ad block. If you're on YouTube, well, I guess. Hopefully you're already there. But just real quick. And then I've got a question. Have you guys heard of SC2 replay stats? It's free. If you can't figure out SC2 replay stats to help you improve at StarCraft, either you're actively trying to keep yourself from improving, or you're probably not going to do well at StarCraft in general. Call the number below, and then check out SC2 replaystats.com. Also, Twitch Prime. Subscribe to the streamer of your choice every month, or subscribe to me. Subscribe today. I know, sorry guys, thanks for sticking around. Nobody likes ads, but times are tough in StarCraft too, right? Minimum APM to get Gold League. So this is an interesting one. Be right back one sec.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Honestly, I think I could do it with 10. 25 is guaranteed, but 10 would be quite a challenge, but not impossible.
Good. Now
Keep
I
the
have
gun
your
show.
attention.
Yeah, no, I put that out there, right? And of course, if you're not able to catch everything, you can find... I've gotten a lot better over the last year or two of putting all these, like, structured content segments on YouTube. Because if you put hours of monetizable content on YouTube, you get more money. Just like if you subscribe with Twitch Prime, I get more money.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Thank you, Unsmishka. The tier 2 for 3 months. Glad you still enjoy. That also works too. That also works. Where's my thank you? John Carlos. John Carlos, you know. It's always in my heart. Really? Angela Dove?
Good luck. Have fun.
At some point, well, all my viewers who actually play a reasonable amount of time, it's like team kill.
SCV ready.
Wait.
Our diamond. Thank you, Phil Rich, as well. Welcome back.
Okay, let's go.
Yes. Just as I deserve.
$15 for 15 app when you have the time.
What?
SCV ready.
What does that mean? I don't
Go ahead.
know what that means.
You need more supply.
Why is every
heroes.
opponent a viewer? Because everyone who watches my guides gets to Diamond League. And then they cap out because of their own issues. 15 APM to gold. I might be severely overestimating either myself or the Silver League. I'm not sure. I have to do it now. But, like... And also, yes, it's 4 in the morning on Americas, and there aren't that many Diamond Leaguers queuing up. Especially at certain times. So...
SCV ready.
Play EU, but I want a challenge.
Well, butter my biscuit. Big job, huh? In rear with the gear. Yo.
By the way, I will comment on that.
CC's upgrade.
There is no different. Well, there's one major difference between EU and NA. Like, I've got a lot of people. I have the within 100 MMR on both servers. Actually, it's a little bit higher on EU. I have like 53 on EU, maybe a little bit less. Maybe I'm more bad than I thought. 5,300 on EU and like 51, 52 on NA. It goes up or down a couple hundred, but it's within the same range. But EU is inflated more because there's people like Cyril dragging it up. I don't know if that's actually the case, but it is inflated more. Like 5,000 MMR on NA is actually a higher percentile than 5,000 on EU because, well, we're just gonna go ahead and blame Cyril. Like, I don't. Anyways, up until about mid Grandmaster, the only difference between EU and NA is there are more languages people insult you in, and more often, which is a great cultural experience. But in terms of actual difficulty or skill level, it comparable. Not necessarily identical. I think Europeans try to follow the meta more. Like, Diamond Leaguers on Europe still fuck up all the time. But they try more to follow the... Wait, he's a Zerg? No, he's a Why are you not Terran? What the fuck?
See? Nope, no building there.
Oh, well. We're freestyling this one.
Optics online. Let's go kill something. SCV ready. SCV ready. Got a target in mind. Big job. You got coordinates at SCV ready.
Tap it with one to push it away. And then, oh, well, I can get the other as well. He has speed done. Well, we're going mech, so we only need like 12 APM anyways. It's fine.
SCV ready. SCV ready.
Yes, yes, yes. Just as I deserve.
We winter decided to call 1-800-GET GOOD. Turns out to be an Alabama/Georgia news magazine company called Outdoor News.
Of course it is.
This ought to be good.
Like, I need to power up my macro here a little bit more than I was going to. So this is going to be a high APM phase.
Channel's clear, boss. SCV ready.
Because now we scared him, now he builds a bunch of links.
Big job, huh?
Which should do nothing.
CC's upgrading.
SCV ready.
You gonna try to go swarm house? Also, this army composition is not great to go swarm house.
Need more
against.
energy, little guy.
Don't call me a little guy, Ortosis. I'm almost 6 feet tall, minus a few inches. You know that.
What's going on? SCV ready.
Add-on complete.
Ready to raise some hell. Show me who you. SCV ready. Ready to raise some hell. SCV ready. Ready to raise some hell.
I'm kind of like trying to figure out where I am in this game, because
Ready for action.
opening with Cyclones is kind of not something you do against Zerg, usually. You add them in, but like you usually don't start with them, so.
SCV ready.
They're attacking your base, you know.
SCV ready.
The little building on the right side of your big building's done.
Ready to raise some hell.
Bigger, faster.
SCV ready.
Mine more minerals.
You can't buy stuff on credit in this game.
So we just built it somewhere else is what happened then?
You have not enough moves.
In gear. And here. We need some fire here. I'm in a heap of trouble. Light it up.
We got a hive.
Ready to raise some.
We require more minerals.
Does he have a fourth? I don't think he does.
Systems go.
It's not done.
Cyclone ready for action.
But that wasn't ideal,
Mineral field depleted.
but not the end of the world either.
Not enough Vespian gas.
Kind of
Price
a weird
control.
game. I think I've said that several times.
You got coordinates or what? Are you ready for this?
That field's been mined out. Hope you have an expansion. We're running out of minerals back home.
Like, he's going for a hive, but Even if he gets one, it's not like he doesn't have a spire, right? Like greater spire.
Cyclone receiving. Ready to raise some hell.
If he did, that
That
would be
mineral
much
field's
more
gone.
dangerous.
Don't spend it all in one.
Liberation is at hand.
So now we want to have these out on the
We're running
map.
out of minerals back home.
SCV ready.
Like, you gotta have effective harass.
For action.
Is very important. And you don't get effective harass by just sending a liberator to their base.
Standing by.
It doesn't work like that. That's not how it works. The way you get effective harass is by drawing their attention. Like, so they don't know exactly what's gonna happen next.
Need something
Like,
liberated?
now that that happened,
As you say.
I need to distract him from the fact that
Got
that.
freedom. Full speed.
I'm gonna send that in there.
You need more supply depot. You require more Vespine gas.
Pull my finger, Artosis.
We're gonna send these guys in.
How can we help?
And then we're actually gonna siege up there and then send the Hellions in here.
Turning fire.
Do all this.
I'm waiting on you.
Do this.
Your upgrade's done.
Got any extra firepower? Ready to blunder.
Research finished.
It's heating up out here.
And we're definitely upgrading. Actually, I'm gonna prioritize plating there.
Go ahead. What's going on?
These are just kind of zoning in case he gets too greedy with his Vipers. You never want to hesitate on this. Get the tank sieged. Have a tank over there.
Research complete.
More factories. I don't know what his upgrades are. So that's a factor here, unfortunately.
CC's upgraded.
I would like to know what his upgrades are.
We hear you. Are you ready?
Brood Lord's still a pretty big threat. I will micro for this.
That mineral field's gone. Don't spend it all in one.
Ready to blunder.
Brood Lords. That's an Ultralisk counter. You know what doesn't counter Mech? Ultralisks. You guessed right. Good guess.
Your add-on's done.
All y'all out there.
You got coordinates or what?
Which is when I bring these guys in.
You need more supply
Because now he's distracted. Now the question is, do we attack? Like, you want to make the attack worth something. So, I think the answer is yes. But there has to be a caveat of some kind. Like,
can't build there.
some things need to be sent out. Like, you can't be scared to attack.
You need more supply
That's
depots.
important. If you're scared to attack, you're never gonna get anywhere. It's just not gonna happen.
We read you.
I'm gonna do this. We're gonna bring this guy all around, and then
Let's get into the fight.
Additional supply depots.
we're just gonna send this out because by the time.
Liberation is at hand.
And now this is what keeping the creep spread down has done for me. By the way, I'm gonna go into high impact mode here.
All hands to battle stations.
Just take it nice and slow,
Cyclone receiving.
and then, well, there was a queen there, but let's go ahead and make sure we're rebuilding at home.
In a heap of trouble.
Every song I download has to pass through rigorous
But the tanks are already sieged up.
I get you.
We're gonna click those drones down. Gonna put that liberator there. Another liberator.
Research finished. That mineral field's gone. Don't spend it all up. What goes up can't come down and land. Mineral field depleted.
We should probably bring the Vikings back home. Now we build, well, Cyclones and Widow Mines are pretty good here. And you always want to send out more Hellions. I'm just going to send out a few. We're going to send like a real roundabout path.
Standing by.
You need more depot. That mineral field's gone. Don't spend it all in one place.
Now we take this base.
More supply depots. Geyser's empty.
Run a little bit further for me, please, so he chases.
Yes, sir. All hands to battle station.
Hey, your base is under attack. It's a trap! CC's upgraded. You're out of supply. We're running out of minerals back home.
I mean, I was doing a lot of harass, so I don't know. I think it was a little high. No, we're fine. It's just about knowing where to hit and with what. Like, how did you do all that multitasking? Well, because you don't spend it on frivolous things. You spend it on important things. Like, a lot of players, I think a big mistake is tunnel vision. The tunnel vision. In Diamond League, where it's like, especially for Terran, we're at the level now where one Liberator is never going to do anything on its own. Okay? Like, if you have one Liberator and you're like, I'm going to siege it up, and then you notice, and then you start microing the Liberator. If there's one Liberator on its own, no matter how much you micro it, it's not going to do that much damage. But if you send 3 Hellions in that are never going to do anything but distract him, then the Liberator sieges up, then suddenly you got 9 drone kills. For less actions overall, like you sent the Hellions out, which is like 2-3 actions, you sent the Liberator in, already queued it up, and just timed it right. So instead of like 30 actions, you've done 5 and gotten more for it. How do factory and Starport on the same hotkey? My hotkey guide explains this more, but you can use the tab key to switch through your production. I put all my production on the 5 key, and then just tab through it. Some players do 5, 6, 7. I prefer to put it all on 1. Just you get used to it after a while. But the tab key gives you another selection group. Any tips on that one? 1, ultras don't counter mech.
Good.
Also,
Now I have your attention.
Hydroling isn't that great either.
Might not be in chat much, but always lurking. Maybe at 2 years.
The creep
you can
spread
grind
hurt a
Nuclear
lot
at
too.
Mart.
Like,
Think about it.
don't
and
cancel
pick
your
up the YouTube
infestation pit
content
just because it
also.
gets scanned. That's silly. Thank you, Ziggy. Did I just don't enjoy it? Don't forget the giveaway. Didn't I already do? I've only gone over 3 games. I did 8 giveaways. I don't.
Good luck. Have fun.
That was a number, right? And Zerg, Like, I don't think Zerg is the hardest because there's just a base level of actions. It's not like you're doing more actions, it's just the things you're doing count as more. Like, here's the thing. Here's an example. You have to select larva and then build a unit. Alright? For each larva. Whereas, the other races don't necessarily have that. I mean, yes, you have to select a barracks to build marines. But overall, like, when you have units like Zerglings, you just have more units. And that contributes to a baseline actions per minute that if you're spending your money in macroing, which isn't necessarily at all more difficult than the other races, is still going to be slightly higher. Not significantly so, but slightly. And that is like, that's why Serral has 450 APM and Maru has like 380. Because Serral just makes a lot of Zerglings, and Maru makes a lot of barracks. Like, yeah, every time you morph a unit, it's just Zerg has more units sometimes, which contributes to more actions, even though it doesn't necessarily take more time. Yeah, high repeat rate.
Good.
I've started using Ray-Rain. Do you use did you go into the config and do rapid fire for anything? Oh, I made 2 otherwise. For any other weapons, I have rapid fire on zealots right now, but not for the rest because I'm lazy. It took me so long to use the rapid fire hotkey just for corrosive bile. Like.
You're engaging the opponent.
I hit W for the key. Wait, how does that work when you have 3 different types of units?
Now I have your attention.
We're gonna do a little bit of micro, aren't we?
A new queen has emerged. Your forces are under attack.
What happened there? So we had a marine, right? That's what happened. W unit W.
You have not enough minerals.
Money, 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 money.
I should have pulled off a gas a while ago. I'm having this Protoss warping conversation while trying to play as EVT. This happens a lot. Like, I start talking about the only race that isn't in the current match.
Mine more minerals.
You can't buy stuff on credit.
And I get so distracted.
A new.
We require more
So
overlords.
we're gonna scout out. Get the roach one. Get a second. I'm gonna send this. Well, will it die immediately? It will. Probably before getting any info. So
We require more minerals.
speed is done.
Not enough minerals.
Those are Hellions, but I have the block here. Just the fact he's going Hellions, like, fine by me. Go Hellions to your heart's content, my friend.
Our forces are under attack.
What a block. And he's already getting stim behind, so we get +1.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
Spawn.
You're under attack. Siege up.
There could be a starport with this. He saw the roach line, right? So does he commit to an attack? Oh, that's a liberator.
Not enough.
Okay. I thought there might be a kicker. A kicker is in like another thing to consider.
Not enough Vespene
He's
gas.
It's Vespine tasteless. Really? Your force base is
Oh, that's a nice position.
A new queen has emerged.
Unfortunately, he's distracted. He's microing his Hellions, which means he loses the Liberator. And now that I have the Roaches out in a decent number, I can get my roach speed safely. The one thing that's obviously lacking is creep spread. But if you shut down that much early harass, creep spread is not as much of a necessity.
Need more energy. We require more overlords.
Yeah, we do. We got 52 drones, which is not a huge number. I'm not trying to pretend like it is. But, it sets up for, well, I think now is important to figure out whether or not there's a follow-up timing, like a tank timing. Comes in from a different angle. I thought I should have taken those rocks down. Do a little bit of fancy micro.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
I usually wouldn't advocate for banking money, but in this scenario, like, you gotta find out what's coming up next. Like,
Evolution complete.
so the answer is a potential tank timing, but I also already have enough roaches, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some more drones. We're gonna go up to 58. He does have a third command center, so I can put some pressure on without overcommitting. Once I get to, like, 65 drones is a pretty money number.
They're attacking your base, you know. Not enough.
We're gonna get the infestation pit. Groove spawns.
Mutation complete. So creative.
And I know, there's a lot going. That's important. Getting all the upgrades. Gonna get, honestly, on this map, it's particularly annoying. So we're gonna get double spine spore, get a
Battlefields been
hive,
mined out. Hope you have
get
an
all of
expansion.
this.
Insufficient.
There's one danger. It's an attack from this exact angle over here.
We need more money.
Because I don't really have vision or creep,
You're under attack.
so I'm trying to avoid that. He actually made a Viking after, which is very rare. It's like, oh, it's Viking time.
We're running out of minerals back home.
Not a
And he has tanks, so instead of trying some fancy swarm hose play or something like that, I'm gonna go get my Vipers. We're gonna get 4 Vipers is usually a deadly number. If I can get 4 Vipers in a maxed out army, then
not enough Vespian gas.
It's Vespine tasteless. Really?
I mean, we're not even at 10 minutes yet. And I'm at my hive. I've got, it's not as much supply as I'd like. I'd like to be maxed out by now. Slow it down a little bit. His upgrades, he's got 1-1.
We're running out of.
I'm starting my +3. So it's very important if you're going Roach Hydra to be ahead on upgrades if possible.
Evolution complete.
Because it is just not a cost-effective army composition. The idea is you have more units with better upgrades, and that's why it works. If you don't have that, well, you're in trouble. I'm splitting off units to see whether or not he's attacking me at that angle.
A new queen.
73, 70. Yeah, you can usually be a little lower on drones here. Like, if I was at 68, I wouldn't feel terrible about it. obviously I wouldn't be a huge fan, but like,
Our forces are under attack. We must spawn more overlords. Your forces are taking damage.
nice to pick that off. I guess he just wanted to give me the medevacs, which was very kind. So now here's the master step. I'm gonna imagine my entire army died to tanks. Not hard to imagine, right? It happens a lot. I'm gonna tech up to Broodlords before that. Alright? Alright, before, not after, before. That's the big one. He hasn't even seen my Vipers yet.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
Mineral field depleted. Your forces are under attack.
Okay, very important to set up from 2 angles against mech. I mean, not mech, against tanks. Because if you don't do that, you're in trouble.
A creep tumor's under attack. Our forces are under attack.
This was not the ideal fight for me, but I should be okay. Because I still have a couple blinding clouds to work with. There's our Terran units.
Mutation complete. Base is under attack again.
They are quite good.
You're engaging.
Which means I'm going to have to give up that base, unfortunately. He did just stim in and went for it, and it worked out. The next round of Blinding Cloud could be more effective here.
Mineral field depleted.
You can get all those other upgrades. Now, the lack of setup over here is not ideal.
Need more energy.
I need to have like some in my main.
You're under attack. Siege up.
I can't siege up Artosis. Don't you know anything? But the Vipers are good. Vipers are a good unit. Give me that. It looks like we are gonna have to go to the brutes.
Your forces are under attack.
You don't want to attack into siege. You can attack into siege tanks or planetaries, but you can't attack into both. If you attack into both, you will lose the game and you'll look dumb doing it.
That mineral field's
Don't go this way. You gotta be careful. I thought I vetoed Dreamcatcher, by the way. Part of the reason I vetoed Dreamcatcher is because I get caught on such weird pathing because of the way the rocks and all that stuff works.
We must
guess
spawn
not.
more overlords. Hey, your base is under attack, man. Mineral field depleted.
Like, there's no reason right now I need to transition dramatically. We're gonna back up. because otherwise
We
we're going to
require
lose a
more
lot of
overlords.
units.
Your warriors have engaged the enemy.
That's what siege tanks do.
Mutation complete.
Very mean things to Zerg units. They're very mean. They yell loudly. They have no manners.
A creature is under attack. You're under attack.
The Vipers are here. For the blinding clouds. That went well.
That mineral field's gone. Don't spend it all in one place.
We're gonna split a little to draw the siege tank fire. Can we target the tanks a little bit? Not with all my units. Just with some of them. Okay, very important. Not every single unit has to go run and kill a damn siege tank. Oh my god, there are more tanks.
We're running out
I
of
don't know
minerals
what I
back home.
We need to inject better. I like the sheer amount of units I'm making is what raises the APM here so
That
much.
field's been mined out. Hope you have an expansion.
It's just so many units.
Spawn more overlords.
He's gonna attack here now. As soon as he sees that, he's gonna attack there.
A new queen.
Yep. But he jumped the gun a little, so. Do not attack. I don't know how many tanks are back there. I have no idea. I'm actually gonna send the corruptors out.
We're running out of minerals back home.
Yeah, we're at like Vipe. Do we have full energy?
Evolution complete.
Because these guys are gonna pee on this base, which we all knew was gonna be there. Which will distract him from over here. I'm gonna need.
Your forces are under attack. That field's been mined out. Hope you have an expansion. You're maxed
We're
out.
gonna make
Good job
more
never skipping
hydras.
leg day. Geyser's empty. Deathman geyser exhausted. Mutation complete. Our forces
Now
are
we
under
get an
attack.
idea of where all the tanks are.
Mineral field depleted. Your forces are taking damage.
That was definitely over, wasn't it? Okay, so here's my philosophy. At the
Hi,
top
Winter.
level,
I'm Silver League and I got 500
is he
Why am
really
I not
waiting for his
master
GG?
because of Nick's skin?
like, at the top level, as soon as someone waits more than 1 second after a GG, you're like, oh, where are the DTs? Like, I don't... Like, where's the nuke? I don't... Oh, thank you for, Loco TV for 10 months. How's the Blank Ops career? You can send in some replays. They're $10 a piece, though. I'll give you a discount for $69 a piece. Thank you for 10 months. Only 10 months. Wait, wait a sec. Oh yeah, I know. He was good. He had good macro. Like, I don't think I could have done much less and not lost the game. So that definitely went over, which means I owe you guys 2. And it is partially because of the nature of Zerg. Like, if you macro well, you're going to have a ton of APM because you just hold down the H key to make Hydras. That's how it goes. But exclamation point slow down for a chance at a free sub every time I go over 100, which Zerg seems to... Only 1, not 2. No, we got 2. We're doing 2. That includes from earlier, alright, throughout the whole thing. Do I want to go to Masters 1 tonight? Is the question. I think what we'll do like a 3-night thing. And I don't stream on my night off. My night off is Thursday. But the winner is Soul's Air. But we're actually gonna take some questions, and everyone in chat is Grandmaster, I know, but pretend you're Diamond League. We're gonna take some questions for a bit, and I'm gonna answer them from the I'm a Diamond Leaguer or even Platinum Leaguer wanting to get to Masters perspective. I'm gonna do that. I think that could be something productive. And then we'll give one more out at the end of that.
Good. Now I have your attention.
Like, I'm gonna spend a couple minutes and talk about what I think, because are the biggest things holding people back from getting to Masters or getting good, if you will. Whenever I figure out how to do that, I'll tell you guys. But the biggest mistakes, and they're regardless of race. What should I do as a Protoss player to get 3 base and beat Zerg players? Well, that is tough. That's a great question. Everybody knows you can't actually do that. So what you do is shield battery and mortal rush them. Seems like the most... No. But I'm actually gonna answer that. Well, before, but the 2 biggest things are no self-criticism. A lot of players really do think, and they believe it, and I was one of these players, okay? I was one of them. And I still am to an extent, but like, I wouldn't look at my own replays because I'm like, well, I know where I made my mistakes. But especially at the lower levels, you might know where you made your mistakes, but not the important ones. Like, the important mistake wasn't, oh, I decided to go Banshees against someone who had Phoenixes. It was, I had 6 idle SCVs when I had 23 SCVs when I was microing my Reaper. Like, things like that. And I think if you can spend a little time, like watch 3 of your last replays, whether you won or lost, the first 5 minutes at regular speed, and just watch your camera on the replay and see if there's anything you notice. And if you're noticing more than a couple things, you got to do that for every replay. You got to. If you're really not, then either you're very right and you're on the right track, or you're very wrong. So it could be either way. Now, if you're just like cannon rushing every game, well, that's good luck. And then the second one is kind of the same thing. It's still like, it's polish. I'm not even including the players who are like, I'm not making enough workers, or like aren't making enough workers, or aren't hitting their timings. Those players are eventually going to be masters. The only problem is time. It's a limited time. You've got to watch the stream for 8 hours a day. You got to do whatever you're doing with your life for the other 8 hours. Like, that doesn't leave much time for StarCraft. But in that time, if you can have the time, like some players, I'm a grindy player. Like, I told you why am I actually kind of good at Ling Bane micro when I'm not good at other micro, because I played 300 games of Ling Bane all in, and eventually got it. But not everybody has 8 hours a day, so you have to be more self-critical.